Welcome to Chronic Health Collective, where we empower you to transform every area of your life. We've gathered the best coaches and experts in the world to bring you weekly insights that will elevate your physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Whether you're looking to boost your energy, to heal relationships, or to live a more productive, balanced life, we're here to guide you every step of the way. My name is Mina, and joining me this week is Candace McKim. She's an intuitive manifestation coach, TEDx speaker, and the founder of Manifestation Magic Process. Welcome, Candace.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm super excited. This is going to be really fun today.
I'm so loving you that you're here with us today. So today we're going to explore how reflecting on your desires, intentions, and past experience can help align your energy and unlock the path to your most audacious goals. I love that word, audacious goals.
Me too.
So, all right, so let's dive right in. We're now officially in the last quarter of the year. So, we're in October, so it's time to reflect. So the topic this month is reflections. So Candace, why don't you tell us about why reflection is so key to what you help people do?
I think reflection is really important part of manifestation is going in, taking some time, really sinking into what has been working, what hasn't been working, where am I right now, but also going in and connecting to what it is that you deeply desire. A lot of times we find ourselves moving through life, doing, being who somebody else really wants us to be, to do, and not really who we want to be and do, and not really even knowing what our deepest desires are. And so being able to attract what it is that we really want, we're always attracting, we're always manifesting, but to be able to do it in a way that is really effective, we need to take that time to reflect and to go through, like, where am I right now? What gets me excited? What juices me up? Where am I passionate? And where am I putting my energy that isn't getting me what I want, isn't getting me manifesting what it is that I really desire?
I think that makes sense. But, now that I'm like in my 50s, it takes a long time for me to actually figure out what I want. And it really is like at the 30-year mark that I'm trying to figure out, hey, this isn't what I want. This is what my parents want, right? How do you help your clients figure out what is it that they want?
Well, I think the first thing is reflecting on your life. I don't ever feel like we're ever off our path, that even if we've spent decades doing what we wanted, or what our parents wanted, what our family wanted, what we thought we should do. And like, we can't always blame our parents, right? A lot of times there was that part of us that, okay, we liked certain aspects of it. Maybe it was the paycheck, maybe it was the community, maybe there was something there. But I don't ever believe that we're off our path. I really believe that whatever we've done in the past is still part of our purpose, our true purpose, and it is guiding us. And we're constantly, I believe, source energy is continuously guiding us back onto our path. Gently sometimes it's not so gently, right? And so not knowing what you want is a big part of it. And especially as women, because we give so much to other people. We're constantly giving to other people. Like you said, parents, children, partners, bosses, employers, like we're always constantly giving. And so most of us don't know what we do want, what we want. But we're pretty sure of what we don't want. Right? We pretty sure know what we don't want. And so my background is I have a degree in social work. So I worked as a social worker for years. And then I moved in and became a yoga therapist, chakra therapist. I had a studio for 17 years. But when I stopped doing social work, it was mostly because I moved to a different location. And it was like, and actually they knew I was a social worker in that city. They kept calling me, asking me, because they were really in need for social workers. And I kept sinking in and reflecting, and is this what I really want to do? And there was parts of it that I loved, right? The purpose part of it, the community, the other social workers. But, and this might sound ridiculous, but one of the things that I kept thinking about is pantyhose. I do not want to go back having to wear pantyhose every day. And maybe I'm dating myself. Maybe they don't wear pantyhose in corporate.
I remember those things.
I know. And even one day I was, I got off the phone. They were asking me if I'd come in and, work in their office. They were come in and talk to them. And I just sat there and I went, pantyhose. Like, so if you start to list the things that you don't want, why you don't want it, and those are a real key, a real indicator that, yeah, it's time to really sink into what do you want. So by listing what you don't want first and then switching it over, flipping the switch. Okay, what is it that I do want?
So is there instances where I thought I want something, but I really don't want something? Does that happen?
Yeah, I guess you can reflect on why do you want it, which is another really big part of it, right? So can you give me an example of that?
I don't know. It's kind of like the money game. So, sometimes people want a lot of money. They think they do. Mm-hmm. And then when they actually get it, they figure out that's not really what they want. So
yeah, so that's part of the manifestation process. And manifestation likes speed, attracting like speed, money like speed. And so I think that's a really huge part of the manifestation process is going deeper. What is it that you want? So if you're wanting to manifest more money, the first thing is, where do you want it to come from? Do you want it to come from your business, or do you want it to come from, or do you care where it comes from? And like for me, at this point in time, I am manifesting specifically through my business. I have so much abundance in my life, but I want my business. It's like one of my children, right? I want it to do really well because I want to make an impact. So yes, I want the income that goes with it, but I really want to make an impact, a bigger impact, have a bigger reach, help more and more people. And so that was one of the things underneath it. But other people, they want to manifest, they want financial freedom. Okay, so what does that look to you? Does that mean that you get to sleep in the morning? Does that mean that, what does that look like to you? Does that mean you can just, go out and sign up for a course anytime and you can afford it? Or does that mean that you, can go and buy a car, the kind of car you want anytime? So it's really going deeper and deeper and deeper. And part of, like I said, like I want to manifest my business to make more money, but really what's underneath it is I really want to make more impact. I want to help more and more people.
That's interesting. So Candace, can you tell us more about how you got into manifestation coaching? This is a story.
I'm really good at manifesting is why I got into it, it seems like. So my background, I said, is I'm a social worker. Then I became a yoga therapist, a chakra therapist. So really marrying together talk therapy with body, mind, spirit, because there's no separation. And so then as a yoga studio, it did, I have that entrepreneur spirit, right? And so then I was running a studio and teaching workshops, teaching yoga teacher trainings. And then I was in my manifestation process. I was just actually launching this process. And I put out there that I wanted to be global, that I wanted to make a bigger impact, that I wanted to keep working with the company, being an affiliate with the company that I was working with, and as an affiliate. And within 3 months of putting that out there into the universe, I got invited to be part of a Global Seva Challenge. And the Global Seva Challenge was to raise $20,000 for victims of sex trafficking in India. And when I saw that email come through, I'm like, I have to do this. And I knew instantly I had to do this. But then there comes the resistance, right? It's like there's that part of you that knows, that you have that inner knowing. And then there was some resistance. I went, how is this going to affect my business? How is this going to affect my marriage? How is this going to affect my children, my household, right? Like I had 3 kids at home, and like, how is this going to affect my community? And then I heard myself saying to a friend of mine, I live in Canada, so I was actually on the hockey bench talking at one of my kids' hockey games, talking to one of the other moms. And I said to her, I just don't want to be on my deathbed and wish that I had at least tried to raise that money for victims of sex trafficking. And when I heard those words come out of my mouth, I knew I had to do it. I knew without a doubt, okay, I have to do this. And so then I stepped into it, and it happened very quickly. And so then just weeks before I was leaving to go to India, because once you raise the money, you got to go see where the money was going, the organizations. And just before I was leaving to go to India, 6 weeks before, I got an intuitive hit to sell my yoga studio.
Oh, wow.
And so I sold it in that 6 weeks. 2 days I left to go, I handed over my keys. And so it's by following that intuitive guidance that I keep being guided. So how did I get into manifestation? It's just part of the process. It's like when I follow my intuition, I'm living my purpose, and I'm manifesting, and it's coming, and it's abundant, and it's beautiful. And it just seems so easy for me. And this is what a lot of times our gifts, our purpose, it seems like it's so easy, right? And so then it's like, okay, then we need to take a deeper look. How is this working for me? How is it coming so easy and quickly? And how can I help other people manifest that quickly?
I think a lot of times it's actually the opposite, especially for women. Like you said, we feel like we have a lot of obligations. We have to take care of the parents, the kids, the husbands, and the cats, and whatnot. And I feel like a lot of women is actually afraid to really know what they want and really go for it because they have so many obligations. Do you have any hints on how you can get over all that? Just, to go for it?
Well, I have always said, since my kids were really little, guilt is a wasted emotion. Like, it's just a waste. It's not going to help anybody. And when we are living our purpose, when we are really stepping into our full expression of ourselves, our full empowerment, we are happier. We are, we live longer. We feel better. When we're passionate about our lives. And it isn't selfish to put ourselves first. It isn't selfish to look after ourselves. It's really empowering our children. It's showing them that this is what we do, and not holding back. And I just feel like it just hurts my soul when I think of people that they've put their dreams on the back burner. And I visualize like a stove, right? And it's right on the back of the burner. Like, those are my dreams. Everybody else's are in these pots up front, but mine's back there. And it's like, no, bring it forward. Because when you're passionate, when you're living your dream, life is just so much better. It's better for the whole household. It's better for the whole family. It just spreads. Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. Yeah. So do you actually have to get buy-in from your family before you pursue your manifestation, your dreams?
What was this? Say that first part
again.
Do
you need to get buy-in from your kids and your husband and your family before you actually pursue your dreams?
A buy-in?
Do they have to agree to let you do it? Or do you just...
Oh, I see what you're saying. No. 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 I guess when I met my husband, I was already moving. Like, I was already doing this, right? So I was already passionate and following my guidance and following my dreams. And so I know it is definitely a conversation, right, to bring everybody in. But when I talked about that, how is this going to affect everybody? We do have to consider that. But then it's like, oh no, I need to do this. I need to do it. Does that make sense?
It does. So if someone wants to follow your footsteps, they want to try incorporating reflections into their daily or their weekly routine so that they can get their manifestations, how do you even get started?
Well, they're already doing it. That's the thing, right? They're already doing it. You're already manifesting. Whatever you have going on in your life, you're attracting it, right? Because what we put out there, we're drawing to us, right? A lot of people, and it's not really about following my footsteps. It's really about getting conscious about where you're putting your energy. How are you aligning your energy to what you deeply desire? So the first thing really is to get clear, to get that clarity. So writing down what you don't want, switching it over. What do you want? Why do you want it is absolutely absolutely essential. And then aligning your energy to that, to what it is that you desire, aligning it to what it is that you deeply want, kind of means like plugging into it. And then also, and so when we align our energy, when we align to the divine, align to what it is that we're really wanting, it's almost like I said, it's like plugging into it. I always think of it, so like we know money is energy, we know manifestation is energy, we know that attracting what we want, it's all energy, everything is energy. And so when we align to that energy, I visualize it taking what I would desire, what I want, and plugging it into the wall socket. And it's like, once you get plugged in, there's this part of like, oh yes, I know it's coming. But then, every day you need to switch on the switch, right? You need to turn the switch on, or turn the, at the end of the day, you turn the light off, you turn the switch on, you turn the lights back on, so that you keep staying in alignment with it. And I just feel like when we have the clarity, when we know where to put our focus, when we know what it is that we really want, it starts to come. And there are still obstacles. There's always going to be some obstacles, some resistance, some challenges to move through. But it really is about keep opening to it, and keep moving towards it.
Perfect. Well, let's hold that thought. We're going to continue this, but first we're going to take a quick break.
All right, strap in, folks. We're about to take a joyride through the fountain of youth. It's Annie Nam from Chronically Healthy Life. Ever wonder why some folks seem to age like fine wine, while others are more like a molded cheese that's been forgotten in the back of the fridge? It's like they got the energy of a Duracell bunny on Red Bull, while the rest of us are running on fumes. Now, you might think hitting the gym and munching on kale is the ticket to eternal youth, but sometimes it feels more like we're just speeding up the aging process. Picture this: you're on the treadmill, feeling like $1,000,000, and suddenly you look down and realize your knees sound like a bag of popcorn in the microwave. Not exactly the sound of youth, am I right? But fear not, my friends, because here's the kicker. It's not just about the number of candles on your birthday cake. It's all about those sneaky little stem cells playing hide and seek inside your body. At the age of 20, you got more of these bad boys than you can shake a stick at. But fast forward a few decades, and they're scarce as a parking spot in downtown Manhattan. But guess what? We got a secret weapon up our sleeves. Phototherapy patch technology without drugs. That's right, folks. With our stem cell activation patches, you can hit the rewind button on aging faster than you can say reverse aging. So if you're ready to reclaim your youth, look younger, feel stronger, and heal faster than a superhero with a side of espresso, then it's time to hop on board the rejuvenation train. Get your stem cell activation patches now at lifewave.com/chronically healthy life. And let's make aging look like yesterday's news. It's not anti-aging, it's reverse aging, baby.
Welcome back to Chronic Health Collective. With us today, we have Candace McKim. So Candace, continue on our conversation. Before the break, you mentioned manifestation, that we already living it. I feel like it's a matter of awareness. Do you feel like it's just because we're not aware that we're manifesting that we're not manifesting?
Yeah, I feel like like we were talking before as well, like how life kind of gets in our way. And I feel like to manifest, we need to be in a powerful state. We need to be in a higher vibration to manifest. And so many of us live in a lower vibration. So I believe that we're always in either one or two states of being. We're either in a powerful state of being, or we are in a suffering state of being. So I want to ask the audience, how many hours a day are you spending in suffering? And I've heard some of the answers have been as much as 8 to 10 hours a day.
Wow.
I had somebody say that her entire day at work, she's in suffering. And again, that just hurts my soul. So and there's nothing wrong with either state of being. You can either be in a powerful state or you can be in the suffering state. There's nothing wrong with either state. There's a lot of growth, a lot of spiritual growth in the suffering state of being. However, when we're in a powerful state of being, that's when we're connected to creativity. We're connected to feelings and emotions. We're connected to source energy. We're more connected to our intuition. And it's in that, and I believe our intuition is what our soul wants for us. So when we're following our intuitive guidance, when we're in that powerful state of being, that's when we can manifest more quickly. That's when we can get into we're more in alignment with what it is that we want in our lives. And so we've always heard that our thoughts create our lives, right? That, but the thing is, we can't control every single thought. We have 80 to, I don't know, I've heard different numbers.
A lot.
90. What's that?
I think we have like 50,000 thoughts a day or something like that.
Yeah, like 80,000 thoughts a day. So we cannot control all of those. And so what we can control, though, is how we feel. We know when we're in not a good mood. We know that when we wake up first thing in the morning, we're like, oh, I got a horrible night's sleep, that we're already in a suffering state, right? Oh my God, I have to get up. I don't want to get up this morning. So we start our days like that so often in that suffering state. So we're already in a place of lack. We're already in a place of lack. I didn't get enough sleep last night. And so when we're in that place, we're not aligning to what we really want. So this is the key. So we know when we're in a suffering state, and we know when we're in a powerful state.
How do you switch from a suffering state to a powerful state? Is this just a matter of, hey, I'm happy now, right? It's not as simple as that, right?
Well, it can be for some people. It can be. But I don't believe in spiritually bypassing. So when we're in a suffering state for real, like when, somebody in our life has passed away, or when we're sick, or when, things are really tough, I'm not about spiritually bypassing. I'm saying feel the feelings, feel the emotions that are coming up. But so often, so many of us are in a suffering state kind of out of habit. Like we start complaining more, we get into that habit of complaining all the time. So that's putting us into that lower vibration, right? And so it is about switching the switch, right? It's doing all of the things that we know we need to do to keep us in a more powerful state, right? Which is movement, right? Whatever your movement looks like. I'm a yogini, so I do yoga every day. I walk every day. I meditate every day. But it's doing all of the things that we know. We know when we're not eating good foods that aren't good for us. We know that. We know when we're not moving our bodies enough. We know when we're, consuming, social media or stuff on television or whatever that are lowering our vibration. So we know that, because we're smart people, right? I know that this isn't helping me when I eat a bag of cookies or whatever it is, right? Or a bag of potato chips or whatever it is that is making me puff up and making my joints more sore or whatever it is. And so it's like bringing ourselves back, using all of the tools that we know we have, dancing, music, meditation, getting into nature, all of those things that we know will raise our vibration. And that's what our job is, really, is to keep ourselves in that higher vibration by doing the things that make us feel better.
So is vibration the same as energy then? Are you generating energy through vibrations? How does it all work?
Well, I feel like energy is a vibration, right? Like I can pick up on your energy. I'm picking up on your vibe, right? Like I can tell, right? When you get in, and I'm not special. Everybody can tell. I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you're in the house and maybe you're cooking dinner and the kids are doing their homework and everybody's happy. And then all of a sudden somebody comes in the house, and as they walk in the front door, walk in the door from the garage, all of a sudden you're picking up on their energy, and they're coming in and they're not super happy. And, and it's like everybody goes quiet. It's like, that's vibes. That's energy. And we pick up on it really easily, especially again as women and children and animals. And so when that energy comes in, it's like, what do we do with it? Do we take it on? Do we take it on and join them in that lower vibration, in that grumpy mood? Do we try to cajole them out of it? Or do we go, that's your energy. What are you going to do with that? I'm not taking it on, right? And keep, maybe you need to go and take some time and, you can talk about it, or maybe you need a hug or whatever it is. Like, you ask me for what it is that you need to shift your energy out of that, but we don't want to bring it into our household. And so, really being aware of that. And I did that for years and years and years. And I could see my kids' vibration lower and my own vibration lower. And it's like, no, I'm not doing that. No, thank you. No. You go take your energy and you go do that wherever you need to go do that. But we're going to keep our vibration higher.
That's interesting, because I think I feel like sometimes people that's in a suffering state, they want to be in a suffering state. And they want to pull you into their suffering state, right?
Yeah, we love company.
Exactly, but how do you walk away from that request to join them in the suffering state?
Well, and it's easy to go there. And even that, like, yeah, that suffering state, but even the complaining suffering state, right? Like when I'm around certain people, right? They start complaining about their life, and then I join. Right, I'm really good at joining them on that part, right? But it's like, oh no, I don't want to be there. I don't want to do that. So going back to when that energy comes in, it's like, it's a conscious awareness. It's like, oh, they've just come in a really bad mood, and you know what? I'm not going to take that on, because what I learned is that my husband specifically, he doesn't take on my bad mood. If he's in a great mood and I come in a bad mood, he doesn't take it on. He'll say, what's wrong? Go take some time. Do you want to talk about it? But he doesn't take it on. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. And, I kind of wanted him to sometimes, right? I wanted him to be as mad at that driver or whatever it was, that coworker or whatever. And so it's just a real awareness. And when I witnessed it, then I knew I could change it. And so then I switched it. And I'm not saying that it's always your partner that's coming in a bad mood. It could be your child. It could be when you go into like a room with other people and you can pick up on the energy, a boardroom, an office, you can feel the energy. And it's like, oh yeah, no, I call it healthy detachment.
That's interesting. Healthy detachment. I got to remember that one. So tell us, in the manifestation process, how do you get plugged in? How do you plug in to get the energy that you needed to manifest?
I do a lot of visualizing. Like I said, I visualize plugging my energy into the wall. And I keep looking this way because that's where my wall is. But, I visualize plugging into that energy, but also visualizing what it is that you want. What does it look like? What is it going to feel like? And we've all been told we need to visualize. And a lot of women feel like I don't know how to visualize. And so I always challenge them. Okay, so visualize your dream kitchen. Visualize the dream kitchen that you would love to have. Visualize the marble countertops or whatever kind of countertops. Visualize the, expensive stove and gas stove and fridge, and visualize all of that. But don't visualize your present kitchen. Do not visualize your present kitchen. Don't visualize the cupboards that might be stained or whatever. Don't visualize the countertop. Don't visualize the fridge. Don't visualize yourself opening the fridge and seeing the contents. Don't visualize that. Just visualize your beautiful kitchen. So what are you visualizing? You're visualizing your present kitchen. And so we can visualize. The thing is that we don't know exactly what we want. So it goes back to the first step of having clarity, knowing what it is that we want, and then knowing the feeling of it. And then another part of this visualizing is the difference between visualizing and visioning. So visualizing is visualizing the kitchen, the house, the dream home, the vacation home, the car, the body, whatever it is. Visioning is that part of knowing that you're here for something more, but maybe you don't know what it looks like because maybe nobody has ever done it before, or maybe you've never seen anybody do it before, but you know you're here for something more. And that's the difference, right? And because so many of us get stuck in the visualizing. I have to visualize, but then they're like, no, I don't know what I want. And so it's just knowing that you're here for greatness, knowing that you're here for more, and staying tapped into that. And so staying tapped into source energy, asking the universe, powerful questions, not what's the opposite of empowering?
Empowering.
What is it?
I think disempowering is somewhere along the line.
Yeah, disempowering. Yeah, not disempowering questions like, why me? Why is this happening to me? We don't ask questions like that. It's, Spirit, guide me towards my purpose. Help me manifest this amount of income in my business. What is my next step to making a greater impact in the world? Asking those kind of powerful questions and listening for the answers, and just knowing that you're here for something more, like having that deep, deep knowing. And believe me, most women know they're here for more.
When I first started learning about visualizing and visioning, I find myself visualizing different things every day. Yeah. And that confuses me. It's like, what do you think you're doing wrong? What is it that I want? I don't know.
I know, and you think you're doing it wrong, so that's why it's not happening. But the truth is, you're not doing anything wrong. It's not wrong. It's just a matter of, okay, now we need to so if I don't know exactly what it looks like, then let's connect to it. Let's send, going back to the visioning, I send out my energy. I send out the energy to the people I want to work with. I send out the energy to the opportunities I want to come to me, kind of just sending out your energy that way and visualizing it that way, but then knowing you're here for something more and having a statement, if you will, like, Spirit, guide me today to get further on my path. Guide me, asking that way, having some sort of affirmation in that way.
So is there any limitations on what you cannot manifest? So the reason I ask that is sometimes we're trying to say, I want my husband to be this, right? And I know that's not something you can achieve because I'm not him. I can make him do something. But when you're manifesting, is there any limitations what you can achieve and what you cannot achieve?
I don't believe so. I believe the limitations are our own limitations, that there's a part of us that think we can't have it. Right? So there's our beliefs, it's our mindset. And I guess there's some things like it would be limited to become, the president of the United States because there's only one job and I'm Canadian, right? So there's limitations that way, but that's not really what I want anyway, right? Wouldn't be what I wanted. So if it's something that you really, truly want and it's part of your purpose and your intuition is guiding you towards it, I feel like there's no limits to that.
So then what happens when you actually manifested what you wanted? Now what? What happens?
Say that again? Or
when you actually get what you manifested, when you visualize something, you actually have it, whatever it is that you wanted, then what? Do you start visualizing something else, or do you just...
Oh, yes. Oh,
you're done.
And usually we're visualizing before it's already come into fruition, before it's really manifested. We're usually already starting to move towards the next manifestation.
Interesting. Well, we're going to take another break, but when we come back, I want to ask you more about how, give us some examples on how you help your clients. I want to visualize how it works.
Okay, sounds good.
Let's take a break. We'll come back.
Okay.
is like a lightning rod. It's energy that's coming in, tremendous energy that's coming in. It's up to every single one of us of what we're going to do with that energy.
Welcome back to Chronic Health Collective. So we have Candace McKim with us today, a manifestation coach. So Candace, we were talking about manifestation and energy. I want to know about when a person come to you, what did they look like? What did they ask for? And how do you help them? I'm assuming there was some type of suffering state that you need to get them out of. And how does that process actually work?
Yeah, so the really cool thing about manifesting, going back to before the break, is we don't all want the same thing. We all want to manifest something different. And so that's the really cool thing about manifesting. And that, again, is another block that a lot of women suffer with, is thinking that if they receive certain things, it's taking away from somebody else. But the truth is that there's enough energy, like there is enough abundance for everybody, that what you want is, you're worthy of it, you're deserving of it, and you're not taking from somebody else to receive it. And so that's one of the first things I do with my clients is to tell them that what they desire is worth it. And so the process really is, a lot of people come in with wanting more money, wanting financial freedom. And so what we do is I start with a deep dive, and we get laser clear on what it is they really want. Why do they want it? You know, I had one person, she wants to help all her children buy a house, and she has 4 children, and that's why she wants more money. She wants to manifest more money. Another person wants to take her family. Actually, when she signed up with my program, she'd already booked the trip for her family. She goes, I need to manifest the rest of the trip. I put a deposit down. Now I need to manifest the rest of that money. And so she came to my program. People are manifesting clients because they want to make a greater impact. This is why I developed this program, is because I kept seeing so many talented coaches, healers, energy workers, and they weren't making the impact or the income that they desired. And so most of the people I work with are purpose-driven women, and they know they're here for more. They know that, they have that feeling, I know I'm here for more, and they want to make a bigger impact, and they want to make a bigger income. But one of my clients that I just finished my program not too long ago, she actually is a manifestation coach. She helps people manifest clients. And she said, she's taking my program, and I'm like, okay. And she said, you know, she said she was making business decisions from her head and not from her intuition. So she was making all of her business decisions. Even she said to use the word manifestation in her program, like she, you know, how to manifest clients, right? That was or something like that is the name of her program. Even she said she used those words from a place of her mind. And then when she took my program, first of all, she said there was nothing missing, that it takes you through the entire process, really helps, like really goes through where it could get stuck, where your manifestations can get stuck. But then she during the program, like this is the other thing, manifestation like speed. So it was during the program, she already shifted her business. She shifted it so that she had 2 other different programs that she was offering, or 2 different parts of her business now. And they were really passion driven, and she's just so excited about it. And then when you're in that flow, when you're in that passion, that's when the money starts to come. That's when the money starts to flow. So that was her process, and she could see where it was getting stuck. She could, you know, and the other thing she said that I really supported her with too was that she said nobody had ever held the vision with her. that, that I was able, like I hear, like I do the deep dive, I help people get really, really clear on what it is. And then I see it, like I visualize it myself. I can see it. And usually it gets to a point where it's so doable. We can do this within 4 months. Like it's boom, that can happen.
Well, talking about doable, a lot of times you hear people say taking action when they're manifesting. Mm-hmm. So how does that fit into that equation? How do they all fit together?
It's following your intuitive guidance. It's going into that feeling or aligned action. Like when you're in that flow, and everybody knows this feeling, I'm sure, that when you're in that flow, all of a sudden, all of these opportunities start to come and you go, wow, how is this happening? And then all of a sudden you might get out of the flow. You're like, oh, I'm out of the flow, because it feels like you're swimming more upstream, right? Like, so I feel like most people can, know that feeling, that when they're in the flow and all these opportunities are coming, and then all of a sudden it feels like, oh, I'm out of flow. I'm swimming up the river and I'm not getting anywhere, but I'm doing all the stuff. And that's when you're in that, I call it ebb and flow. When you're in that ebb, that's a time to take a step back, go more in, start reflecting what was working, reflecting on how, that feeling of being in that flow, and start meditating more and start connecting to more source energies. But what we typically do as humans, because we want to get back in that flow, is we try to do more. We try harder. We swim harder up the stream, right? And we start pushing ourselves. I got to push myself into doing this stuff. And then you get pushed into overwhelm, and you're going in. What's happening essentially is you're moving into that masculine energy, where when you're in the flow, you're in the feminine energy of ease and grace, and the opportunities are coming. So the aligned action is depending on if you're in the ebb or if you're in the flow. If you're in the flow, it's moving through fear is what's going to happen, is because you're going to be getting opportunities that are going to push you out of your comfort zone, right? You're going to be getting things that are coming to you that you go, yeah, I really want this outcome, but really have to go talk on stages? What? I remember the first time I was asked to speak on stage, and I said no. I said no. I remember it. I was actually laying on the floor with my feet on the chair. And I was laying on the floor with feet on my chair, and my phone rang, and I looked at it, and I had already heard a message from her that I knew she wanted me to speak on stage. And I'm like, I don't want to, but I didn't want to avoid her. So I answered the phone, and she said to me, she goes, I know you've been busy, you've been traveling, blah, blah. If you can't do it, I said no. And I did actually say no. And she said, well, if you can't do it this year, then we're going to pencil you in to do it next year. And I went, oh, okay, I'll do it. And now I, do podcasts and summits and speak on stages and done a TEDx talk, right? Like it takes you out of your comfort zone. So that's how you move forward. You take the aligned action because the opportunities are going to come.
I love it. So, sometimes, some of life happens, right? What happens if you take the step and it doesn't go your way? What happens if it backfires on you?
It's staying true to the vision. It's staying true to, because for a lot of us, I believe it's like a calling, right? Like I've always had like a backup plan. I'll go work at Starbucks if this doesn't work out, right? And I've had that for the last 10 years, right? And it's like, but it just won't let me stop, right? It won't like every time I start to take that step back, and that's moving into the ebb and flow. So if you're in an ebb and you go, I'm out, I'm done, I'm taking a step back, then all of a sudden, boom, Spirit's going to go, here's another opportunity. And you're going to go, oh, okay. And you lean back in. And so, yes, life does happen, and it's how you cope with it. It really is. Like, is it going to shut you down? Is it going to be I call it kryptonite, those things that shut you down and hold you back? Or are you going to move through the fear, the discomfort, and stay true to what you know you're here to do in this lifetime? And that's why we get support. That's why we hire coaches. That's why is to help us move through those periods where something may have happened, life may get in the way, and it starts to shut us down and hold us back.
So typically, if a person comes to you for coaching, is there any guidelines to how long this process takes?
My manifestation magic process is 4 months because manifestation is quick. I know I've seen I have so many success stories that it starts to happen quickly, and you get into that process of things happening. One client, she worked in corporate in the oil and gas field, and she came to work with me, and she said, I'd really love to do sound therapy. And I'm like, okay, that's what she wanted to manifest. And so within a couple months, she took the training and started the process within the 4 months. And then that spring, she broke ground and built a sound dome and had probably one of the most successful healing sound domes ever, because she had that corporate background, right? We're never off our path. And she brought that with her into building her sound therapy business, and it's really successful.
I love it. Can you tell us more? Give us one more success story, just so we entice us.
Okay, so I had somebody else, and again, she just felt like she was spinning her wheels, right? She was, you hire the coach, and then what the coach is telling you to do doesn't align with you, so then you pay them all this money and it doesn't work. And it's because it's not yours. It's not in alignment with you, right? It's not your intuition telling you to do it this way. And so I had this one woman, and she kept hiring coach after coach, and she came quite defeated. She came to me really defeated, like, I don't think this is going to work for me. And I'm like, okay. And so I actually offered her a return on investment. And I said, okay, if this doesn't work for you, then, I'll keep working with you until we get some movement. And before the first class, she messaged me, and she had somebody already sign up for her year-long program directly from her website. 2 things, and paid in full. There was these 3 things that had never happened before. She said, first of all, I've never had anybody sign up for my program directly from my website. Second of all, she's never had anybody sign up for her year-long program. They sign up for the shorter programs. And the third thing is that she paid in full. You can't make this up. And that she hadn't even started the program. And I'm like, that's awesome. Let's go. Let's get going. There's the return on investment already. Because it was actually more than what the program cost, which she'd already paid.
Wow. So is there any difference in how you coach women and men? Are they like intuitively different?
I typically only coach women.
Huh. Like, is that a requirement? Just men don't usually go for that intuition?
No, I think men go for it. I feel like women major in the feminine, minor in the masculine. We all possess both masculine and feminine energy. So we major in the feminine energy and we minor in the masculine energy. Where men typically major in the masculine energy, minor in the feminine energy. And I'm very much in my feminine energy, and I want to teach it in that way so that women can really sink into their feminine energy and do business like a woman. And that was one of my hashtags when I had my yoga studio for 17 years. Like, I do business like a woman, and I'm not bringing in that masculine energy of how I run my business. And so I feel like it's it's a permission slip for women to do it in that way, because so often we hire the men coaches because we feel like we need that masculine energy to ignite our businesses, right? Like, we need to, get accountability and get going, and that really powerful energy. And believe me, I hired somebody like that as well. And my income dropped. And so it's like this permission slip. We get to do it this in the feminine energy of flow and cycles and movement that way.
Is there any age requirements? Can any age women do the manifestation, or do you need some life experience before you actually?
No, I feel like people are coming up now more awake than ever. And so to have this guidance on how to focus your energy onto attracting and bringing in what you want, it's brilliant. My kids use it all the time. I have 3 children, and they all are manifesting their big, audacious dreams. And
Wow.
I'm super proud of them.
So Candace, why don't you tell our audience how they can get hold of you and how they can reach your program, and give them all the information, all the goodies that they need to know.
Okay, so you can email me at info@candacemckim.com, and I spell Candace CandaceMckim.com. My website is also CandaceMcKim.com. And I'm on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn as well. And on my, you can email me if you want to book a clarity call to hear more about the program, or you can get more information on the program directly off my website, CandaceMcKim.com. And it's called Manifestation Magic.
So at your program, do they start anytime with you, or is it a one-on-one program?
It's a one-on-one and group coaching. It's custom for the client, because sometimes they might need, it's 8 pillars, and sometimes they might need pillar 1 or pillar 5, or wherever their manifestations are getting stuck, because there is a process of how we all manifest, and it can get stuck in any one of those areas. And so it's custom for everybody, but then it's group coaching, once a week group coaching, and then 3 sessions or 3 one-on-one coaching sessions with me, including a deep dive to start. That's the 90-minute deep dive to get information on.
That's fantastic. So, Candace, before you wrap up, do you have any last advice for our audience?
I think the last advice is manifestation loves speed. So don't hesitate. When opportunities come, take advantage of those opportunities and keep following your intuition. There's a different feeling that we get when we have an intuitive hit, and to follow that guidance.
Thank you so much, Candace. It was so great having you here. And next week, we're going to have another great guest, Dawn Omausa, with us. So join us back here on Tuesday, 7 p.m. CST. You can watch past episodes at watch.e360tv.com, in the Vitality TV network, on our YouTube channel, chronicallyhealthylife.com. And you can contact Candace, and the information you see on the screen below, or you can visit our website at chronichealthcollective.com. Any comments, questions, suggestions about our show, you can reach us on our Facebook page, Chronic Health Collective, or email us at anything@chronicallyhealthylife.com. We'll see you again next week. Thank you, Candace.
Thank you.